Hey ciao, this is your friend Enemy, and I'm here today with another Loopstation tutorial, and today we're talking about harmony. So what is harmony? Basically, it's complicated. I mean, it's a lot easier to understand and feel what harmony is instead of explain the definition of it. In the description, you can find a link to this video of Jacob Collier explaining harmony to different levels of musicianship. So I strongly suggest you watch that video and understand a little more about how harmony works. If you're a beatboxer, just go here on YouTube and look for harmony, for melody, for tutorials on how chords work and stuff like that. That's really helpful if you want to grow also as a musician and as an artist instead of just a beatboxer. Anyway, I think that in order to understand what harmony is, first we have to understand a little more about chords. Chords, exactly. So basically, to understand chords, of course, we have to know a little bit about music theory. I have a keyboard here that will help me. We have to learn a little bit about scales. So this was the major scale, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do. And for example, chord can be made by the first and the third and the fifth note of a major scale, or also the seventh or the ninth or whatever. Okay, so for now we will use a major chord, and we will try to sing all the notes of the major chord inside one track and use that as a chord for the track. So I'll start with recording a beat. Okay, so we have our beat. Now, in order to record the following chord, which will be C major, we will use dynamics, vocal compression, and a little bit of reverb. We're gonna stack all the notes of the chord one on top of each other. It's gonna be first do, and then mi, and then sol. So the best thing is to sing a little bit the chord in your mind before performing it. So okay. It's the morning, so forgive my voice, please. It's totally not warmed up, but still, let's try. So what we want to do is record a short track, maybe a quarter note track, okay? So something like, yeah, exactly. That short in order to, yeah, have a quarter note. And then we're gonna record everything on top of it. So first note. We have our first note recorded. Now with the second. Okay, here we have our chord. This can be one of the chords of the song. A cool technique that I've seen Sleazer using and also Robin using, even if a different way, it's to record like this all different chords in the tracks and play along with them. So let's try with D minor. Oh yeah, I'm gonna put a 7. So. Okay, so we have our two chords here. We have C. And you can play along with them and, you know. Do a melody like this and to my time, putting banjo, and then change the chord and change it again. And change the chord and keep it like this. You don't want to sing the whole song with one chord, cause maybe that results too boring and stuff. So you gotta back to the other chord and stuff like this. And you can, like Sleazer, play with this. How did it do it? Yeah, and this. Yo, yeah, shout out to Sleazer. So yeah, this is one of the approaches you can have with chords. So the useful thing about this technique is that you are not stuck with one track and one chord progression for the whole song. You can really change how the chord changes. You can record even more chords and really play along with harmonies. Oh yeah, and I forgot to say that this technique it's also useful if you have transpose here and you want to have different chords, you can easily do that by putting transpose here. So I don't know, let's try like this. And you can play along with different, much more different harmonies by transposing the chord. But you have to really be careful of how you want your chord progressions to sound and which chords you choose to be major, which one minors. And so it gets a little tricky. But here you can really experiment and have fun with harmonies pretty easily. So as I was saying, the other option is to record one chord progression in just one track. Okay, so this can be an example. Sorry, just put a little bit, yeah. So you have two chords here, but you don't have the freedom to choose which one to play. But still, you have three tracks left to record all the rest of the drums, the melodies, the riff, and the drop track, and whatever. So a really good method to learn how to sing chords is basically, yeah, I think it's better if my friend Enemy explained it to you.
What? Bro, you have the keyboard right there.
Bro, I know I have the keyboard here, but I have the whole setup on my Loopstation, so I will not...
I have my camera setting here, I can't move it.
But I mean... fuck it, okay. I'm just gonna... Alright.
Take your time.
Alright, let's see if... Okay, you guys can see me now. I didn't want that. Thank you, Enemy. I'm gonna put a little like that. Alright. Fuck.
Sorry, I mean...
Okay, thank you, Enemy, for not explaining what I asked you kindly to explain.
Seriously?
So, I'm gonna do it by myself. So we're just gonna use this beat, and we're gonna use two chords. I take these two, for example. Okay, so... So it's gonna be this reggae thing. Alright, how do we do this with our voice? No, I deleted the whole thing. I'm a fucking idiot. Okay, so we have it. Okay, so how do we record these chords? Discord. I don't have a Discord. Yeah, I do have it. They make battles on Discord, but I'm talking about this chord.
Really? Discord. Really?
Okay, alright, so get back to our chords. These chords, pretty easy chords. Minor chord, major chord, alright? Because the third, alright, whatever. Maybe I'll explain how chords work in the next videos, but there's a bunch of tutorials that can explain it even better than me, so go and watch tutorials about chords if you don't know how chords work. So the live looping process, and since we're just using our voice here, forces us to use, I think, this method, which is the best one. You break down the chords into all the three notes, and you basically stack each note on top of each other, as we did for the previous one. But we have a progression here, so you have first one chord and then the other. So what we want to do is take the first note of each chord, so, and record just the two of these, just these two, okay? So just the first note of the progression, the first two notes of the two chords of the progression. Alright, so. And then we take the... Okay, so we have it recorded here. Then we're going to take the second note, which is this one. which is actually the third in the chord, but it's the second note we are recording. So okay, so we have it. Then we have this. Then we're gonna go with the fifth note, with the third note that we're recording and the fifth in the chord. Oh fuck these numbers. And we have this beautiful chords here, and we can start building up bass lines and melodies and stuff. Shout out to MB14 because I just remember these chords are from his cover of Welcome to Jamrock by Damian Marley. Anyway, yeah, this is basically how you stack notes to produce chords. You can have even more complicated chords. So this, we have just 2 chords here, right? And with just 3 notes, okay? But you can have more notes in a chord. You can have 7s and 9s and whatever, right? So a cool chord progression that I did was at the Grand Beatbox Battle this year, and I used this chord progression. And here you got the first 2 chords that have 3 notes, and then the other ones that have 4 notes. All right. So here you have to play a smart game and try to find which note to sing and when to sing them. So I'll just make it as an example. So fuck. So I just recorded the first note. Then I'm gonna go with the second. Sorry. So I have the first 2 notes, but for example, now from 3 they become 4. So there's this one more. So if this was the chord, I now need this one for 2 times and then this one again for 2 times. So I'm just gonna record the 2 of these. Just record this one. Now we're gonna go with the third. So this game is far more complicated, but still, if you train yourself to play along with and to sing and to stack notes to build up chords, you will train your ear like a bastard, and you will train your musical and harmonic skills, and try to experiment with different chords. Try to learn. If you're a beatboxer and you don't know really much about music, which can happen, I strongly suggest you to check out how chords work and stuff like that. So, okay, back to you, Enemy.
Thank you, Enemy. Thank you guys for watching this video. This was about harmony. Next video is going to be about melody. I want to reiterate that all these videos are made for beatbox loopers. So maybe just for loopers also, but is precisely for beatbox loopers. So if you're a beatbox looper, or if you're not and you're just enjoying this video, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to this channel. And as always, if you want to support this creative project actively and to be part of the family of Patreons that are supporting this project, feel free to check out my Patreon page where all the project is described. I will be so grateful to share with you all the advantages that you get by becoming one of my Patreons, choosing one of the tiers that you can select on patreon.com/enemy_beatbox. So thank you again, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao!